Welcome to Grimes's Home Garage. This is where I do most of the maintenance and modifications to the cars, family cars, and I want to show today some of the tools I've bought to help in those tasks, and as well as a couple of minor modifications I've made to the garage itself to help out. This is where I do all my do-it-yourself car maintenance, mostly on this Lincoln MKZ hybrid. I want to show you some of the things I've done in the garage to make it easier to do the work. The first one is, as you can see, you need to allow enough space in the garage to allow the car, allow you to get the hood open, and allow you to get under the car if you have to, allow you to walk around behind. The way you place the car exactly like that is what I've done is added a laser right here. Is a laser mounted. As you can see, it goes over, has to have an electrical outlet, 110 volt, and it lights up as a motion detector, and that motion detector sees the car moving in, lights the red light. You can see, if I get it, here's the laser, shines through the windshield onto the dashboard, and you can see that red dot there, and you identify a place on the dashboard. That way you can park the car exactly the same place every time. The other issue is, how do you get the car up in the air so you can crawl under it? And let me show you how to do that. So I purchased this jack for jacking the car up while I'm in the garage. This works pretty well, and it gets it up high enough that you can do whatever you have to do. I have here, I bought a couple of these. This goes on the pinch weld. It's magnetic, so when you put it up there, it stays until you get the jack under it, and you can line it up easier with this in place. So that's one thing. I want to mention that when you jack the car up with a hydraulic jack like this, you don't want to count on the hydraulics holding it. You really need a jack stand. So once you get it up, put the jack stand under and let it down on the jack stand as for safety purposes. But one of the things I've done is I use this jack in the form of a jack stand, because generally I only have one place that I've got it jacked up. So if I'm doing it, I get it up where I want it. This is a Amazon device. You can get it on Amazon. This is a thing called a jack rod, and this works like this. Right there, it turns the jack into a jack stand. See, it's locked there at that position. With the weight on the car, it let it down and it jacks right on there. To whatever height you have it, this thing extends out, and that way it's safe. If the hydraulics fail, it can't go down. The other thing that I've done is purchased a couple of ramps. These weren't that much. I think I paid under 150 for two of these. And this is pretty good because this is like 9 inches high, and there's a jack under there. You can raise it another 3 to 5 inches. 9 inches is fine, and it's much more stable like this. This is what I use, and to jack the front of the car up, and then roll under using You wouldn't have to have this, but it's always handy to have a creeper so you can get in and out from under the car. Now, with jack stands, one of the things is they will tend to move when you're trying to roll the car up on them, and maybe one tire will push it and the other doesn't, and you have to back up and start over again. So they're kind of a pain from that standpoint. And when you get up there at the top, if you bump into this too hard, the back end will pop up and hit underneath the edge of the car. I solved both of those problems by drilling a hole in the floor and putting a threaded insert in there. After drilling the hole, a 5/8 hole, maybe a little bigger, 5/8, in the flange on the ramp, on the metal ramp, and positioning the ramps on the floor. So I marked on the floor exactly where that hole was, and then this is a drop-in anchor. This is a 1/2-inch drop-in anchor. And I got 2 of these, and the drill a 5/8 hole this deep, so that it just comes flush with the surface of the concrete floor in the garage. And you drop this into that hole, and then you take this tool, which is this XY tool, 1/2-inch. What this is, this tool is designed specifically for then hammering. Once you drop this into the hole that you've made, you drop this in and hammer this down into the hole. That spreads this bottom edge that's knurled and locks this piece into the concrete. Now, I went one step further, and I put since the concrete broke away a little bit around the edge, so that water wouldn't run down in and dirt, I took some epoxy putty, actually, where you mix the two together, and shoved it around and filled the edge of this so that it was smooth from here out to the concrete edge. Okay, then you get the 1/2-inch bolt like this and screw this in to hold the ramp down. And then what I did, so that you didn't have to leave this bolt sticking up above the concrete floor all the time, I got some of these. This is just a set screw, and so I put that in and run it down flush so that it will just to keep the dirt from getting down in there and filling it up. They get a little dirt here, but that won't hurt anything. So this just keeps the dirt and grunge out of it. Then when you get ready to put the ramps in, you just pull this out, set the ramp over this, run this through the hole in the ramp and into here, and screw it down. Doesn't have to be tight, just screw it down, and that holds the whole thing together and keeps the ramp in position and keeps it from tipping when you're driving up on it. So I put one of these on each ramp, each side. That's all it really takes to stabilize the thing. You get bolts that fit this thread, and I had to drill a hole in the edge of the ramp, but that connects this to the floor solidly, and it gives the right position. Because the other thing you have to be careful of is to make sure that they're spaced exactly like your tires, and that they're straight. And you can notice I painted the floor with little spots so that you can position them every time and lock them into place. That works really well.